Hi, I'm Bob Balch with the That's Jesus channel. Thanks for tuning in. One of my favorite and one of the most familiar phrases that Jesus ever said was this: I am the vine and you are the branches. I love that. We're going to talk about it more in just a minute. In the meantime, please go ahead. If you find these types of videos entertaining or edifying or educational, would you do me a favor and hit that like button and the notification bell? And if you really would like to do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. So, have you really thought about what that means when Jesus said, I'm the vine and you are the branches? You really think about that before? Jesus is not just part of the vine. He actually is the vine. Jesus is the vine. We're the branches. He's the actual vine, though. He's the one that brings nutrients to the branches. Without the vine, the branches will die from malnutrition. The followers of Jesus are the branches. They only live because they're attached to Jesus. The only way that you can be a branch is to follow Jesus. The only way that you can produce good fruit is to be connected to the vine, Jesus. Does that make sense? Your fruit is the evidence that you're connected to the vine. So if you're not producing fruit, what does that mean? You're not connected to the vine. Jesus uses the analogy of branches and vines and fruit and trees a lot. Here are just a couple of the things that Jesus said that may or may not be familiar to you. Quote, I am the vine and my Father is the gardener. You ever hear that one before? Get out your concordance. Here's a couple more. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. Wow. If you're not producing fruit, you're going to get cut off. And if you are producing fruit, you're going to get pruned so that you can produce even more fruit. Wow. How about this one? Quote, no branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I love these quotes. These are really good, huh? Here's the next one. Quote, if you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. And apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are to be picked up and thrown into the fire and burned. That's a reference to hell, folks. A branch that does not remain in Jesus is like a branch that is thrown away and withered and is picked up and thrown into the fire. We need to remain in Jesus. Here's another quote. This one's really good. Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. So you need to look at your life and determine, what kind of fruit am I bearing? Is this good or is this not good? Here's another one. This is a great quote. You ready? Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by your fruit, you will recognize them. Another reference to hell. If you're not bearing good fruit, not good. Here's another quote. Make a tree good and its fruit will be good. Or make a tree bad and its fruit will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruit. I think this verse has a lot of potential in it because it says you can make a tree good. Say you've been unfruitful for a long time. Guess what? You can make a tree good. But beware, you can also make a tree bad. Here's the next quote. This is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. Wow. You want to show that you're a disciple of Jesus? You're going to bear much fruit. That's kind of scary. Next one. You ready? Quote, you did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and do what? Bear fruit. Fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. Jesus wants you to bear good fruit so that if you ask, the Father will give you the ability to bear good fruit. You know, even though the writers of the New Testament picked up on the importance of these analogies, and all of those quotes that I just had were from Jesus, here's another quote. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now that's interesting. A lot of the times we'll get these lessons on the fruit of the Spirit. Hey, you need to have more peace in your life. You need to have more peace in your life. You need to have more kindness in your life. I think they have lost the point that the fruit, all of those things, that's the fruit not of you and me. That's the fruit of the Spirit that lives in us. The Holy Spirit living in us has fruit. And that fruit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are made evident because of the Spirit living in us, not something that we do. We're not righteous. What we do is submit to God, and God will make those things evident in our lives through the Spirit living in us. Here's another quote. The fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. The fruit of the light. Who's the light? Obviously, we know the answer to that. Next quote. And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the what? The fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. Next quote. In the same way, the gospel is bearing fruit and growing throughout the whole world, just as it has been doing among you since the day you heard it and truly understood God's grace. The gospel is bearing fruit. The gospel is the good news about who? About Jesus bearing fruit. Another quote, we continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of His will through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives, so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please Him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to His glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience and give joyful thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of his holy people in the kingdom of light, bearing fruit in every good work. Bearing fruit. You need to know what your fruit is. There's lots of different kinds of fruit. You need to bear fruit in your good work. Now, even Jesus' brothers, James and Jude, used the symbolism. Here's some from his brothers. You ready? Quote, "But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy, and" what? "Good fruit, impartial and sincere." The wisdom that comes from heaven is full of good fruit. Here's another quote. "Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers and sisters, this should not be. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? My brothers and sisters, can a fig tree bear olives or a grapevine bear figs? Neither can a salt spring produce fresh water." There you go. You're going to produce fruit. And if you want good fruit, you need to be in the good vine. All right, next. They are clouds without rain, blown along by the wind, autumn trees without fruit and uprooted, twice dead. Autumn trees without fruit and uprooted, twice dead. Clouds without rain. These are the people that say or believe that they are followers of the Lord, but they have nothing to show for it. They're twice dead. So, I have a question for you. You ready? This is a great question. Got any fruit? If you've enjoyed this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. Give me a like, a subscribe. That would be really nice. Ring the bell if you want to be notified of the next video. I thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. This is wonderful. Have a great day. Be blessed.